Howdy, and welcome to Pinball Wizardry. This video is the first in a series of guides on the many different principles to keep in mind when playing Blight. I don't feel that one can cover enough material in a single video to do a killer like Blight justice, so I've opted to split my guide into different parts in order to most effectively communicate the benefits of my experience when it comes to playing Blight. There are many Blight guides on YouTube already, but the majority I've seen are pretty basic and don't really delve into the more advanced aspects of this killer. I don't feel like there's any material suitable for serving the needs of players that seek knowledge beyond the basics. This is the niche that my guides will serve to fill. If you enjoy this video, please like and consider subscribing if you care to see more like it. One last note before we get started. Blight is by no means an easy killer. It's important not to get frustrated early on and give up, because perseverance pays off with this killer. Trust me. If you ever have questions or are looking to connect with other Blight players, consider joining our Discord. Link is in the description. With all that out of the way, let's begin. Blight is a normal 115% killer, meaning should you choose to play as him, there is literally no downside if you opted not to use his power. This is a mistake, but it's important to realize. A killer's power is the most unique thing about them, and using their power to its fullest potential will allow you to have the greatest impact upon the course of a match. Killer fundamentals, while important to have, will only get you so far. Blight's power works like this. You tap M2, which sends Blight into a rush forward. You will continue this rush for 3 seconds, and if you are able to bump into an object before the rush wears off, you will be able to look around and adjust your view angle, as well as launch into another rush, which can lead to another bump, which can lead to another rush, which, well, you get the idea. Each time you rush forward, you consume one of your 5 tokens, meaning you have the ability to rush 5 times in one go. During a rush, Blight moves at 230% survivor's running speed, so you can cover a tremendous amount of distance in a short amount of time. This mobility grants Blight an enormous amount of map control if used correctly, which is an incredibly powerful ability in and of itself. Map control can and will win you games. Now, if you fail to bump into an object before the end of a rush, you will quickly slow down to a stop and enter a fatigue state. This slowdown period, which I will refer to as ending slowdown, is the optimal time to bounce into an object to continue your rush. However, something that a lot of Blights do without realizing is bump short. What this means is to bump into an object prematurely, i.e. before that ending slowdown. This ends up losing you distance and time in the long run. No pun intended. It's important for any aspiring Blight player to practice going long. Going long allows you to get maximum value out of your power, which is important to strive for if you want to play optimally. A perfect series of rushes will net you around 130 meters of distance. This is absolutely insane, and it's perfectly feasible to cross entire maps in a single use of power. Look at it this way. Every time you bump before that ending slowdown, you lose about 9.2 meters for each second early, 4.6 for each half second early, 2.3 for every quarter second early, and, well, you get the idea. Should you accidentally bump, you'll lose out on a whole 27.6 meters approximately. Make sure not to do that. Let's give an example. If you were to bump just a second early every time on every rush, you'd lose about 46 meters total, which is bigger than your own terror radius. All because we're bumping 1 measly second early. You see why going long is so important? Now, there isn't always an object at that perfect distance. Certain maps, such as Rotten Fields, have large dead zones with hardly any objects to bump off of at all. Going long isn't as important in these situations. In fact, it can be downright detrimental. It's far better to go just a bit short and maintain your power than to go long hoping you'll just barely manage to get the bounce you need. Oftentimes, it's critical to stay in your power and get the most distance possible. Falling out of your power at the worst possible time can sometimes lose you entire games. Use your best judgment and realize that going long is usually, but not always, the best play. Realize that going long only applies when using Blight's power for traversal, not in the chase, which is something we'll cover in a future video. I feel as though I should touch upon speed add-ons. Speed add-ons are a fantastic choice on Blight, and increases already overwhelming map pressure to astronomical levels. Double speed add-ons, or crack Blight as it's come to be known, can allow Blight to cross huge amounts of distance in a single rush, and can be used to snipe unsuspecting players like in this clip. Speed add-ons remove the need to go long, and accidental bumps are actually beneficial in some cases, almost acting like a springboard of momentum. This is bad practice, and caution should be applied when using speed add-ons as to not get too used to them. They're easy to become accustomed to, and if you find yourself in a position when you're not using them, your Blight fundamentals may suffer. I would recommend going long even when using speed add-ons. It's not necessary, but it will help keep your Blight fundamentals from degrading. In summary, ensure maximum value of your rushes by going long. Understand when going long applies, and occasionally go short in order to stay in power. Most importantly, have fun. This game isn't balanced, but that doesn't mean you can't still enjoy it. I want to thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next, where we'll be discussing the intricacies of Blight's power and collision detection in general. If you want to see more big brain Blight plays and hang out with some of the nicest fellas you'll ever meet, consider checking me out on Twitch, where JFlix and discussions about pizza are all too common. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.